Hello everyone, IanXIlyana here again. I thought I would come back. I just went for a walk with my dog. Oh, for goodness sake, what is going on? What you doing there, girl? Okay, she's walking all over the place. Good for her. All right. Either way, I just went for a walk with my dog, and what is wrong with LA? Like, I don't understand you. You set fire to the building right next to me. Like, what the fuck is wrong with you people? Hi, CT. I'm just angry again. I'm angry because the minute I go outside, they set fire to the building right next to me. Like, I'm sick of this. I keep trying to reach out to the housing authority and say, look, there's something fucked up going on in LA that every time I go outside, there's an issue. And I'm not saying it's all about me, because it's not all about me. But who wouldn't want to live next to a building that's on fire? And that's something that is just in general of living in LA. I mean, there's always some sort of disgusting fire going on. The LAFD gets a lot of fucking work, let me tell you. They are never the type to just sit on their ass. They've got too much going on. If it isn't a forest fire, it's just some dumb fuck setting things on fire. But either way, as I say, it's not about me. It's about Eastern Kentucky. Eastern Kentucky needs our help. Change.org/Kentucky needs you. Why did they burn it? I don't know. It smelled like they were burning plastic, which is ridiculous. Like, they've been setting this bullshit up for like weeks now. They've had like an abandoned truck there. They've like fenced off the area, and then they just set fire to it today. I'm sick and tired of it. If you come to LA and they give you the little signs that say, we may be filming in your area, great. Are you gonna fucking pay me? Are you gonna fucking pay me for the smoke inhalation that I have to put up with because you set fire to a building next to me while I'm trying to walk my dog? Are you gonna pay me for that? Because if you're not paying me for that, then go fuck yourself. Do that on a fucking soundstage. Recreate this neighborhood that you wanted to create for your cinematic image. But it's not a place that you created. People live there. I live here. I didn't get paid for this fucking film or whatever they're doing over there. So, like, why are they doing that? And if it's just some dumb fuck and has nothing to do with the entertainment business, I'm sorry. But it just seems to me to be odd that you set up an abandoned truck and then you set fire to the building next to it. And it's a fake truck, which is, like, really ridiculous. I live in a residential area, well, so-called residential area. It's just a disgusting environment. You know, I don't want to say that the American government pretty much shoved me on a reservation, but yeah, that's what they did. That's what they did. Because I told them I want Santa Monica, a beach. I want to live on the beach. I'm a veteran. Find me a place that says we accept veteran, HUD VASH, so I can live on the beach. Because I don't want to be in any situation where I can't say, at the very least, there's an ocean right there and fresh air. No, I don't get that. I get to live next to food trucks and disgusting idiots who set fires to their own homes. And if it was an accident, I don't fucking care. You set fire to a residential area. Like, how selfish are you? It's already a cloudy, rainy kind of day, as close to a rainy day as you can possibly get in LA. But yet still, that's not good enough for these LA people. They have to set fire to things. Hi, HHM. How you doing? What's wrong? What's wrong is I hate LA. I should have just said the name of this podcast for today is I Hate LA, Love Me Anyway. Because I just truly dislike this city. I just spent the majority of the day today singing about country music and bluegrass and the bluegrass state, Kentucky, which needs help. I'm staring at buying a plane ticket to move to Eastern Kentucky. I'm staring at this plane reservation because I say, they need me there. They need me there. Fighting to protect water rights in America. They need me. LA is just a fucked up place that I don't want to be a part of it. And even Facebook Meta says, no, you don't want a part of it either. So they locked me out of my own profile because they're like, no, you don't want to be part of this. Just stop posting, stop trying to be IanXIlyana. Don't try it. Just give up on that. And it's like, I still like making music. I wrote a new song today and I couldn't get the mic properly, so I have to retry it. I have to redo my entire verse because I have the bridge, I have the chorus. I love the melody. The melody is super cool, super funky. It's just the verse is a little bit boring to me, so I have to fix that. But I like making music because music to me is art therapy. Some people love to shove pills down their throat or drink or have really promiscuous sex. In this neighborhood, there's just no way. So I have music. And yes, I do remember the first stream where we met. You're like the super cool person. Because I met you at the same exact time that I met Logan. So I'm listening to my song Let Me Love You. It's on my Instagram, it's on my Meta, it's actually remastered and available on Apple Music. But the name of the song is Let Me Love You. Either way, I'm gonna let it play in the background while I go on and talk about this. I mean, you could be addicted to a certain level of drama, and more than these disgusting people shoving cigarettes in my fucking face, it's just the adrenaline rush of, oh wow, there's something on fire right next to me. Whatever. Oh, you like the song Let Me Love You? I love it. It's beautiful guitar picking and just good southern groove. I'm not the hit it and quit it type. I'm a man who will stay around. And tell your little boyfriend needs to clear out of town. Yeah, I love this song. My issue is that I'm not living a life here in Los Angeles. Like, I've been wasting my life in Los Angeles. I've been wasting my life because I've said, if I get my benefits, I could use my benefits to start fixing the town. Because I live in LA and they need to have all the litter removed, they need to have the beaches cleaned up, they need to have solar panels everywhere. I've come up with several petitions to get the stray dogs off the street and into people's homes. I want to replant the trees that these people have wiped off the face of the planet. Number one llama. Hello there, nice to meet you. Welcome to my channel. Of course, I always support. If you want, you can leave a comment in this video after the video is published, and I will put it into my description. I'm always about promoting other people. I have plenty of things that I promote. I barely promote my music. I prefer to promote good causes in this world. And if you are a new creator, then, you know, that's a worthy cause. How am I doing? I am rough. I am rough. You know, I don't understand why I have to live in this city, because I try to reach out to the housing authority, and yeah, I definitely make music. I reached out to the housing authority to tell them, like, fuck LA, fuck this stupid fucking city. I don't fucking fit in here. I literally walk around. Let me show you the outfit. Let me show you what I'm dealing with right now. I am as podunk and as weird as possibly be. I'm not even a hippie. I'm just a Native American First Nation medicine man, a shaman. I literally perform magic every single day, which is why there's been an uptick of dogs and dog owners in my fucking neighborhood. They're trying to, just piss me off. It just pisses me off. But either way, it's not about me today. It is about change.org/Kentucky needs you. We are trying to defeat Senate Bill 89, which is trying to add more pollution to rural eastern Kentucky. And the issue is they already have to deal with floodwater. They already have to deal with the waterways just being poorly maintained to begin with. Why would you want to add more chemicals to the water, which is it's already making them sick? Show us a magic trick. My magic is really simple. I have green thumb and I can speak to animals. That's pretty much my magic. Oh, and I'm obviously make music and things like that. And I have a slight gift for I want to say telekinesis, but I think it's more of just really good math, where I have very good agility and things just kind of fall into my hands. So I guess that's the only way I can describe it. But that's my magic. Number 1, llama. Hey, let me tell you, this should restart and start to follow. Yeah, okay, good for you. I'm just gonna, yeah. Thank you so much, CT. It's a rough one. It is. Like, I don't get LA. I just don't. I mean, I don't want to be a celebrity. I know I make music, but I'm kind of okay with the fact that I check my music on occasion and I see that nobody. Fuck you, people. Hold on a second. There we go. Let me fix that. Yay, that's fixed. All right, thank you. Oh, my artist name is IanXIlyana. It's the same as this is the IanXIlyana channel, so it's IanXIlyana. So IanXIlyana. You can find all my music. You can find Peace on Earth, Heal the World version. I think it's like super cool. Vinyl Homework is really good. Olive Garden is a really cool song. Yeah, I make cool music. And like I said, if one person likes it per day, I'm cool with that. I'm absolutely cool with that, because for me, it's just art therapy. It amuses me that my music is out there. I'm not trying to be famous off of it. Like, I've given up on that. I just don't want that. I'd rather be an engineer. Change.org/Genius to Mars. I'm trying to be a Martian engineer. I'm not. I guess there's another way to say that. I plan on being an engineer on Mars. I'm everything from a climate engineer to straight on terraformer, and that's what I want to do. I want to terraform Mars. I think that Mars is a place where humans can live rather comfortably, more comfortably than on Earth, because on Earth you deal with so much bullshit that you put up with because you think in a limited way. And I don't want to be rude about it, but it is very limited to look at things like cars and buses and trains and planes and think that is it. That is all we are. That is as far as we can go technologically. And that's wrong. I wish that I could go to a university and start teaching what I'm considering portal science. It's a philosophy of use the technology we have correctly. If you have things like a cell phone or a computer, you have a portal to order things, to move things around, to communicate, to travel. And we need to expand that. We need to expand that because that is the future. It is not the future to constantly think about cars and trains and buses and we need new roads. And no, we need less roads. We need roads to be accessible to emergency services only. And I know that that might seem a bit radical, which is why I don't want to do anything really more to promote that kind of program in a city like Los Angeles. I think you need a new city. I think you need a city where you could say, if you need something, stay your ass at home, use an app on your cell phone and go order it and have it delivered to you. And then the rest of the roads and the motorways are just for emergency services. If someone has a heart attack, if someone is choking, or someone got a bee sting and they need to be rushed to the hospital, why the fuck should they have their medical care in any way infringed upon by someone going to get a cup of coffee at a coffee shop when they could get that coffee delivered or they could brew that coffee themselves? It's the selfishness of people that are costing our lives. And also, even if it's not an emergency situation, let's say it's a really good day when nothing really went wrong. Why are you wasting your life in a vehicle instead of just enjoying what you're going to enjoy? You want to see a movie so badly? Why don't you have the movie on your screen right now? Everything from the latest movies to, movies that are classics, they're all on your screens now. There's no reason to hog up a road, pollute the atmosphere, to go outside to get something like that. Because now you know the truth. You don't think of it as just something that's frivolous and, without harm. You don't know what's out there. You go through life and you assume that you go to a restaurant and they clean things and they ask questions and they say, hey, do you have a fever before you start cooking for people? People aren't asking questions in America whatsoever. All right, I'm going to go back into what, CT is saying. No, I get what you're saying. It all depends on how hard you work and how much effort you give in what you want to be. What about rockets? What about rockets? James Joplin, I'm so glad that you came into my channel. If you follow change.org/genius to Mars, you know that I'm more interested in things like a gravity well, the commute, and just in general having a space elevator. The idea that we use rockets has always been wrong. It's the same exact thing as saying, are you going to gallop your horse, ride your horse across the Atlantic Ocean? No, you're not. Number one, because horses can't swim that well, and your horse would tire out before it gets there. And two, it's a really, really long distance. So someone came up with, well, let's use planes. Planes can get you there. And then people said, it's 13 hours, it's 10 hours, it's whatever. It's a long time to fly from wherever you are to England if you wanted to go to England. And we just left it at that and said, it's 13 hours. I'll just I'll watch a film from the airline. I'll watch something. It'll pass the time. I'll have a couple drinks. And it's no, 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 no. Stop it. Just stop it. Because every time we say we'll take a plane to England, it's saying that that's as far as the technology goes, that we don't want faster planes, that we don't want just a blurring of the lines. I would like to go as far as to say, I want to create a blurred international line experience where seamlessly you can travel through England while still being in America. I have ideas for the technology for it. I have ideas of how to go about it. I just haven't been able to do anything because I have none of my disability benefits, which they owe me for military sexual trauma. And so instead of working on that, I am stuck here in LA. And as far as rockets, that's an analogy right there. Rockets made sense a little when you were just starting out. When you were saying, I don't know about this whole, space travel thing. I don't know what we're going to do with it. Whatever. I guess we'll put a space station up there. You're not children anymore. And I have to say that to humans. You're not children anymore. You're grown adults who've been into space several times. You need to stop that nonsense of the rockets and just say, well, we need to use solar sails. We need to construct a space elevator. We need a new space station that is more of a printing bay, because we can't keep making rockets and space shuttles that are slow, that go nowhere, because right now we need to tell people, get the fuck off our planet. That's not something that your president is ever really going to say. That's not something a prime minister will say. They'll just say, oh, well, times are tough and the economy this, and, build a wall this, build a wall that. They don't tell you, you know what, your freedoms are eroded here. You're always going to be a second-class citizen if you're a person of color. I'm a person of color. I was walking back into my apartment building. I saw a sheriff look at me and he gave me like a kind of look. And, I just say to myself, you know what? He doesn't know me. I wish that sheriff had the opportunity to know me, had the opportunity to see me as a person, as an individual who isn't committing a crime or anything. I'm just walking across the street and signaling properly. But I'm always going to be a second-class citizen in America. And my kids, if they, by an extreme fault of my own, are born in America, they would have to deal with that too. They would have to deal with, so this person of color criminal over here colored my judgment. So now I see your kids and your kids are of color. So now I have to put that kind of racism on them. And rightly so. I'm not defending, people of color who are criminals, who antagonize the police and make the police not want to be in these kind of neighborhoods or treat these people with respect. I'm on nobody's side here because they're both wrong. I think that if we got out of this situation and people started to say, you know what, I would rather take my chances with Mars. I would rather trust IanXIlyana to build a sustainable habitat which is of a higher quality than the Taj Mahal. A kind of environment where, you'll have your food, you'll have your water, you'll have fresh air, you'll have exercise, you'll have the ability to just live autonomously. Why? Because for the most part, nobody wants anything except your body heat and the waste that you come out with, your carbon dioxide and all other waste. Because guess what? I have a hydroponic slab and I'm going to need fertilizer. I'm going to need nitrogen. Other than that, Run your life as you see fucking fit. That's the kind of place that I want to live in. That's the kind of place I want my kids to grow up in. I don't want my kids to grow up in an America where they're always going to have to be so perfect, so polite, and I've raised my kids to be polite and perfect, but not to the point where, you know, they have to fear for their life if they're pulled over. And that's something that most people of color have to deal with. They have to deal with having the sit down chat with your kids of, you know, you're going to have to deal with police officers and they're just going to see your skin color and they don't care that you're in the right. They don't care that you're in the wrong. If they have a reason to pull you over, you're in trouble. And you're going to have to be on your best because they have certain latitudes to use force, and in some cases it's completely justified, even when it's a mistake, and I'm sorry, it's still justified. All right, I'm going to get into some of these comments because, hey, you are gaining views. I hope you're going to be a good person and that you're going to inspire. I hope I do inspire people. People come into my channel and I don't know, some people are rude, some people are cool, but I hope you learn something. And if anything, you start asking questions. When I start talking about Eastern Kentucky and how they are contaminating water against American citizens, I want you to feel revulsion. I want you to want to throw up because these people are American citizens like you, like me, like everybody else. And if this happened in your town and everyone else was just talking about stupid shit, like, you know, who's gonna, you know, be in the top 20 for American Idol, or did you see Big Brother, or oh my God, you know, my favorite country music artist is gonna win an award. Well, guess what? Country music comes out of Kentucky, and you Kentucky people are suffering because your water's contaminated. That is what I want to focus on. So I hope that I'm raising good fans and just good people in my chat to start asking questions, because if it happens there, it happens everywhere. How often do you know of stories like this? Flint, Michigan happened recently. And Eastern Kentucky is happening now. They already have so much to contend with that they're not exactly all Bill Gates or Mr. Beast with their money. Some of them are just people who wanted to be left alone, live their lives alone. And now it's, well, you better run back to the city. You better run back to the city because that's the only place you can get water now. And that sucks. It just does. I'm going to go into some of these comments. I think you were doing good. How in the world would you visit England while still being in America, taking a plane or car? Joplin, I'm glad that you said that. I am one of those people who has been working on several projects which I can bring together in a few ways. I have been working on an ultra fast internet. I've tried my hardest to get my disability benefits so I can build my prototype, go to the patent office, have it patented, and then just move forward with that. But either way, I don't mind talking about this because at this point, there is nothing going on in this world. There's just nothing. Even Apple doesn't even fucking care to really change things up a bit. I mean, they came out with their Apple glasses and I don't know. It's just wrong technology, the wrong direction. It's just hubris and stupidity. And I say it's just ego. But either way, if you can think of an augmented virtual reality with an ultra-fast, high compression, then you could stream an entire area as far as your eyes can see. And as long as you had an input from a camera, from a GoCam, you know, just people with, meta glasses, then you're just as embedded into that country as if you were there. I mean, true, you're not exactly going to get as much sensory input as possible, but that depends on how you do it. I mean, I was thinking about cultivating that as shared spaces. So it might be a shared restaurant experience where half the restaurant was in America, half the restaurant was in England, and that kind of thing. That's the kind of thing that I would want to see, because I'm looking at my situation where I live pretty much a Scottish lifestyle in this shitty fucking Latino ghetto, which makes me look weird. But whatever, I'm weird. I don't mind it. I wear my Scottish kilt, I wear my sporran, and I walk around. I don't walk that far, but I mean, I do walk around. Some people take photographs, which is kind of creepy, but otherwise, I'm just living my life. I'm fully covered, obviously. I mean, I left my, my chest out, and you might see a nipple on occasion, but that's all you really see. And, I mean, I've got nipples. Could you milk me, Greg? All right, let me get back to these comments. I am a kid and life is a nightmare. All right, Donnie Green, you are right. Number one llama, I'm 13. Good for you. How did this conversation start from a comment saying rocket? Okay, the easiest thing that I can start telling people is that I am the most qualified engineer to go to Mars. Why? Because I've been studying city planning, I've been studying environmental design, spaceship design, and just general electronic design in order to reduce the size and scope of cities, to change the focus of cities from what I can only describe as commercial real estate to a user-centric based hub. Everything that I was talking about before, super fast internet, just hydroponics. Once you have a central hub, and you know that there is just radiation and a lack of air, you'll stay the fuck there. You'll have ample room to take a walk. You'll have ample room to go to a fitness center, go to use a pool, just whatever. But for the most part, you're gonna stay in the central area because that's pressurized, that has air, that has food, that has everything. This is the kind of idea that we should have had here on Earth, because we are wasting energy, wasting our money. I mean, when they say that petrol prices are going up and people just keep paying it, instead of saying, well, I need an electric car. They don't even go that far. They just say, well, fuck it, I have to pay it then. It's wonderful for you. Wonderful for you that if you have enough money to do so, you just do it. I would be of the more radical side of things, where if you have to use your car to go to a job which is nowhere where you live, and then they raise petrol prices on you, what you should do is find a job that you can walk. Number one, because no matter how much money they give you, there is no equivalent to health. They talk about, oh, well, with these jobs, we'll give you health insurance, we'll give you health benefits, you can take sick days. It's like, yeah, but your job makes me sick. Your job raises my blood pressure because I have to sit in traffic to get to your job, which is too far. It's too far, and it ruins your health. as opposed to what I'm trying to build on Mars, nice central hub, solid central hub where everybody gets a certain level of affluence. And I mean by certain level of, if you say, I want 100-inch flat screen or curved screen, 8K resolution, 240 refresh rate, guess what? You can have it. You can have it. You want a computer that can house every single video game that ever came out, guess what? You can have it. Build it, you can have it. Oh, and by the way, you want the kind of upgrades that are faster than an NVIDIA 59 chip? Yeah, you can have it. Instead of constantly going through your life asking for things like that, use the available resources that we have on our expedition, build what you need, and just enjoy your life. Because the rest of it is going to be spent either helping me with hydroponics, helping me with some of my science experiments, or going back to Earth with better technology. But for the most part, like I say, it's going to be user-centric. As in, if I want a pizza or something like that, I'm not going to say, go out into the Martian expanse and find a restaurant that'll give you a deep dish. That doesn't make any sense when you live on another planet. It makes sense to have a robot bake you a pizza and then deliver it to you. A robot, not a person, just a robot. That's the future. The future is not human labor. The future is human creativity. How creative are you? How smart are you really? All right, let me get back into some of this. Friends, hello. Hello, hello, hello. So what do you think about Starship? Look, Elon Musk and Trump and all the rest of them, they love a good game. They love a good tease. They're just not as good at science as I am. I have better methods, and if I could just get enough signatures to convince Cambridge University to let me use a lab and maybe give a small dissertation on the physics theorems that I've been postulating, then I might be able to change things. But for the most part, that's where I am right now. A genius stuck in a Latin ghetto instead of being able to have my own lab so I could go to Mars. It just makes me upset. It just really does. Because nothing against them. It's just, I don't have to live here. I don't have to live here. The VA could have said, you know what? We fucked up when we sexually abused you. Here's some money. Have a house. Go buy a house. And guess what? If you want to use your house as your own fucking lab, guess what? Go ahead, do that. You want to live stream your dissertations on physics with a blackboard and a PowerPoint presentation? Guess what? You can do that. I mean, I guess I could kind of do the PowerPoint presentation here, but... oh, well. I just want out of this situation. I'm sick and tired of living in LA. I'm wasting my time here. I'm wasting my life here. And things aren't getting better. It just isn't. Because I live amongst idiots. I really do. look, I'm not going to consider these good, decent people when they set five forest fires. Five forest fires. I can barely say the word five. Five forest fires. There. I don't know why. I'm terrible at English. I speak English. I'm just terrible at it. But yeah, so forest fires in LA, and I love how every time I'm on Instagram or Meta, they start saying to me, if you've been affected by the fires, call these lawyers, call them. I've been affected by those forest fires. I have nothing but rage and PTSD from those forest fires. I wasn't in those forest fires, but when I think about all those animals and birds that were just living their day, just chirping, just, gathering nuts, taking nuts from this area and putting them over there. That's all they were doing. They weren't hurting anybody. They weren't bothering anybody. They had their own little city. They had their own little place. They lived in the trees, and guess what? They were fine. And then, because of American greed, American capitalism, and just destructive industrial bullshit, the temperatures got too hot. Those trees were normally fine, but it didn't rain. And then it didn't rain for enough time that all the little water beds that were underneath those trees that were normally fed by rivers, by glacial, runoff from mountains, fresh water that was filtered over time, had minerals in it, that dried up. So those trees dried up. And then it gets too hot and a spark happens. Maybe it's just static electricity. Maybe, a camper just fucks up, but I really doubt a camper fucked up in 5 different places at once. That's a little too weird. But either way, that's what happens. And nobody cares. I care. I care because I look at that situation and I say it was completely preventable. Not a single bird, a squirrel, a wolf, or bear had to burn alive for California. No firefighter had to go out there if they didn't have to. And I don't think they had to. It's going to make such a lovely story arc on 911. I cannot wait to see how Hollywood is going to spin this, because that's what Hollywood does. And I find that a little disgusting. And I've been on X and I've said how I really don't want them to glamorize it and normalize it in any way. I want people to feel revolts that they did this. I want them to feel compassion for something that isn't human. Feel compassion for the animals, feel compassion for the birds, feel compassion for those trees, which, sorry, they're alive. When you are a vegan and you say, well, I only eat things that don't have a face, guess what? Those plants are alive. They have a consciousness. They talk to each other. They have a language. Oh, and I will challenge any scientist because, yes, plants have language. They have neurotransmitters that they pass along. Well, I mean, as far as an equivalent to a neurotransmitter, because they don't exactly have, but they do have hormones, and I guess it's more of a sympathetic kind of response. But either way, they've learned to use that. They've learned to use spores. They've learned to use a mycelium network in order to equitably distribute resources. Plants are alive. And these plants were old, wise trees that they just let dry out and burn down, and nobody cares. I care. So every time that I have an opportunity to remind you what pieces of shit humans are, what pieces of shit Americans are, what pieces of shit Californians are, I try to remind you of that. All right. Let me go back to some of these comments. What the hell should I eat then? I'm going to refer to you as Ben. Okay. Ben, I'm not discouraging you from eating plants or eating meat. I just want you to be aware that they have families, they have feelings, they know. Plants know when you eat other plants. They react. Plants react to it. It's measurable. The sound of something chewing on a leaf is enough to make a plant shiver. They are alive. We need to stop Trump. No, you don't. You need to let Trump be Trump. Trump is there. He is the enema for America. And I don't really want to put my president in a position to be compared to that. But Washington has always been a sewer, a fetid sewer, clogged up by bureaucracy, racism, sexism, and just ethnic divide that they manipulate in order to keep you from talking to other people about real issues. I love speaking to Clint. He lives where he lives, and I live where I live, and he talks the way he does. I talk the way I do, but we agree about things like gun safety. We agree about the Second Amendment. We agree about American civil liberties. And if it wasn't for the internet and the power of country music, because I think he came to one of my singing lives, I wouldn't know him and how he agrees with most of the things that I do. He agrees about the live and let live, just stop being so prejudiced, because you end up missing out on a lot of conversations that you need to have. So when I talk about Eastern Kentucky, I don't expect people to know anyone who physically lives there at this time. I don't know anyone who lives in Eastern Kentucky. They're not friends of mine. They're not family. But that shouldn't matter. They're having their water contaminated. Water contamination in the United States is bad. It's bad nationally. How many restaurants, how many businesses operate in Kentucky with befouled water, and then they ship that stuff across the nation? Yeah, it's a big issue. Not to mention, if you allow the Senate Bill 89 to be passed in the Kentucky State Legislature, then they'll just pass it in New York, they'll pass it in Nebraska, they'll pass it in Hawaii. They'll just keep steamrolling it until there's nowhere left to get fresh water, except in a store. Wasting more plastic. Which is another issue that we have in America. That's incredible. Much love for opening our minds. If anything, I want to open your mind to what's going on with your president. Your president is decimating government agencies. He's decimating a lot of things. He's even decimating the veteran affairs. And as much as I want my disability benefits, fuck them. Fuck them, fuck them, and fuck them again. Because every time that I needed my veteran affairs disability benefits, they've denied me. And worse, the medical system just seemed to mock my disability of having PTSD from military sexual trauma. They never took it seriously. They really didn't. They took every opportunity to traumatize me again and again and again. Even though I have it in writing, I have an affidavit of just respect my wishes. They don't care. So yeah, if he is firing all of those people, firing people in the EPA, you know what I say? Thank goodness, because that's what needs to happen. Instead of going to the Veteran Affairs for my money, I need to be speaking to people in America and say, where the fuck is my money? I shouldn't be going to a government agency and say, you know, I'm missing my disability benefits. I should be going up to people and say, where the fuck are my benefits for being sexually abused in a military that you didn't join while you sat on your ass and you had a good time, while I was being sexually abused, while people like me were being raped? You think that's okay? You think you can get away with that? No, you can't. So yeah, America owes money, not just the Veteran Affairs. And in lieu of that money, because they don't want to give me money, I'm going to take my country back. So I am going to speak out on environmental issues and human rights violations in America, because I do not agree with leaving anyone behind. And Kentucky is being left behind. It's not a sexy state like California. It's not a happening place like New York. They're just people. People who need your help. Change.org/Kentucky needs you. It's a petition that I have to not only veto Senate Bill 89, which wants to add more contaminants to their water, but also distribute fresh water to them, because they need water right now. Right now. They need fresh water right now, because they need to take their faucets, tape them up, block them off, and just learn to go without. Learn to open up a liter of water, walk into a bathroom, and then use that to shower with, because they can't trust what comes out the shower head. They need water right now. So change.org/Kentucky needs you is a petition that does several things. It also creates a program to give them water right now, because I want to talk to places like Amazon, Kroger, and many other outlets and say, you have water on shelves. I know water doesn't really go bad, but could you donate water? Could you ask some of your customers to donate water? Could you maybe, help me distribute it to the Red Cross in Kentucky? Because these people need water now, and they need to have water in large supply, because if it isn't, these politicians trying to pollute their water, it's flooding. Kentucky floods very often. They have to deal with E. coli. So these freshwater areas, these aquifers that people have been using for generations, it's not sustainable. It never was. But these people, they made their choice of where they want to live. They should not be penalized for that. They need as much support as possible. And if that support isn't coming from the American government, it has to come from the American people. We do not leave people behind in America. Not in my America. So change.org/Kentucky needs you. Think about signing that petition. Think about making a change in this neighborhood, because if you were in that neighborhood, if this was your state, you would want people to help you. You would want people to say, we don't want you sick. We don't want you to have cancer. We don't want you to have, to watch your children, deal with heavy metal poisoning. You don't want that. You don't want your kids with leukemia. You don't want your kids, with their hair falling out in clumps. You don't want any of that. But that could happen to you if you lived in Eastern Kentucky, if you had your water supply befouled and the American government say, you know what, it's not dirty enough, let's add some more. It makes me so angry. It makes me angry because as an American citizen, you're not supposed to disparage your American government. You're not supposed to truly criticize them for what they do. But I don't think there's anything more American than acknowledging that sometimes there are problems with how we run our nation. Too far gone. Okay. I don't know what you meant with that, but it's either. I don't mind. I don't know. I've said what I had to say about this particular issue. I hope people feel the same way that I do, that I mean, if you can't donate money to Kentucky to build a brand new water filtration system to restore, by the way, that's in my petition also, besides the comprehensive medical screening for carcinogenic effects due to exposure to hazardous materials, I do have building plans for new water treatment in those areas. That's just something I want to do. I want to help these people because they're American citizens, and I'm American. May not sound like it, but I'm American, so I feel like it's something that I should do. And I can't do much because, like I say, I'm a veteran with PTSD, with military sexual trauma. But what I can do is make a petition, and I can open my big, beautiful mouth and juicy lips and bat my eyelashes and see if anybody wants to support American freedom, American civil liberties, to have unfettered access to fresh water. Because that's a decent thing to do. And, that's the kind of country I want to live in. I want to live in a country that has that guaranteed. Hopefully you feel the same. And I want to thank anyone and everyone who came in today in order to hear me talk about this. I want to thank CT. If you're looking for someone who is living this kind of lifestyle, I invite you to check out Clint Gage. That's CLINT GAGE. He's someone who has a big heart. And when you want to put a face to the people who might be affected by this, I think he's a good example of a good, decent, kind-hearted person who is living their life outside society, a little off the grid. But they're good American people, and you don't turn your back on them. I hope you find that inspiring. Please consider that petition, change.org/Kentucky needs you. If you feel inclined, there's the article that inspired me to create a podcast series specifically for this. And it's right above, it's in the description. Consider helping in any way you can. If you can tweet, if you can put it on social media, I invite you to do so. There's a fluffy girl behind me. That's what I deal with. She wants very few things in life except to steal my bed. Looking for the perfect spot that smells exactly like me. My name is IanXIlyana. This has been Eastern Kentucky Needs You. I hope that you find it in your heart to care.